Hey everyone, this is Chase, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and this is my versus of the Tech 10 and the Tech 7 from Alpinestars. All right, everyone, thanks for checking in with us today. As you can see on the table, I have two awesome boots from Alpinestars. We have the Tech 10 and we have the Tech 7. If you're boot shopping, especially for a premium option, well, chances are one of these two, if not both, are on your radar. And so today I want to help you make that decision a little bit easier, especially if you are having a hard time deciding between these two specifically, because what I'm going to do today is rather than just give you bullet points, if you want to learn all the technical mumbo jumbo about these, watch the product spotlights. That's what those videos are for. But today, it's all about my personal feedback. I've spent a lot of time in each of these two boots, so I'm going to go through and give you my feedback as far as the fitment goes, how the braking period is, how they feel on the foot pegs, the durability factor, all the things that I would want to know as a rider if I was boot shopping. So I want to give that information to you to help you make that decision. Now with the Tech 10 and the Tech 7, obviously they're going to be similar in some ways, but they are very different in others. So we're going to cover those categories. And the first thing you're probably going to see right away is just price point. You're about $600 for a Tech 10, even more for the limited edition colorways. And then when you get to the Tech 7, you're going to start at $350. So there's a $250 price gap between the two. With the Tech 10, it's a premium option. You got Eli Tomac, Jason Anderson, Justin Barcia rocking this. And then you have the Tech 7. Now, don't let the price fool you. Even though you are less on that price, there's still top-level riders that are wearing this. So I still consider it a premium option when it comes to boots. We're going to cover all that. So let's get started with category number 1. So first category that we got to cover, this is important with any boot, is fitment. How do these boots fit? And luckily with both of these, they are very comfortable boots, but there are some differences that I think are worth mentioning. So we'll start out with the Tech 7. So with the Tech 7, it looks narrow on the table. This boot's actually deceiving because it looks like it has a pretty narrow toe box, but it actually accommodates a wide foot. I don't have a super wide foot. I don't have a narrow foot. I'm kind of right in the middle. For me, there is no worry about not having enough space. It's a nice wide toe box. The length, as far as that goes, is going to fit true to size. But remember, this goes for any boot that we sell. If you don't like how it fits after you buy it, you can send it back in brand new unused condition and we'll give you free shipping both ways on your first exchange. But here's what's nice about the Tech 7. Honestly, of every boot that I've ever worn, and I've worn a lot, these are probably the most comfortable. And if you ask any rider that wears a Tech 7, they'll probably tell you the same. This is without a doubt one of the most comfortable boots with just initial step-in comfort that is out there. That is one thing that I love about the Tech 7. Now when you jump over to the Tech 10, again, it's another very comfortable boot. The toe box is plenty wide. The length is going to fit true to size as well. But here is one difference between the two that you have to consider. The Tech 10 has an inner bootie. The Tech 7 does not. So when you put this boot on, you have to have this on first. Me personally, when I put these on, I just leave the bootie in the entire time. I never take it out. Some riders will take it out, put it on their foot first, and then slip it in. Either way, it's going to be up to you as a rider, but you have the inner bootie. So as far as the length goes, this is something I think is kind of worth mentioning. Because you have the inner bootie, obviously with the shell of the boot, you have to make some extra room for that. So when you compare the same sizes side by side, you notice that the Tech 10 does have a little bit of added length to it. And I'll kind of talk about how that can affect your braking and shifting a little bit later on. But as far as the fit goes, both super comfortable. The Tech 7 does take the win in the category, but not by much. But next, let's talk about the break-in point, because this is where these boots are on the opposite end of the spectrum. With the Tech 7, like I just mentioned, the break-in time is going to be a lot less. It's super comfortable right out of the box. These are both made from a microfiber construction as the base material, and then you've got TPU all over these bad boys to give a lot of protection. But you'll notice here that when you look at the Tech 7, you've got that microfiber here going up the front. You've got the hard plastic shell. When you look at the back, you've got these accordion panels here, these bellows. That's going to help with the flex as well. So it's still a stiff boot out of the box, but it doesn't take long for these to break in. Now, when you look at that versus the Tech 10, here's the big difference. The Tech 10, and this is also a safety feature that you're getting with the Tech 10, because we talk about that price difference. You're definitely spending more money on the Tech 10, but there are some safety features that we'll point out that you're not going to see with the Tech 7. And when it comes to these two boots, you really have to ask yourself, what type of riding are you going to be doing with these? Because we'll talk about it a little bit more, but that is a big deciding factor that's going to help you decide which one might be the best option for you. But when we talk about flexibility, the Tech 10 right out of the box is the stiffest boot that I've ever worn. These suckers are stiff and they take a little bit more time to break in. So you're going to need to be patient when you first put these on. If you're going to be off the bike walking around quite a bit, I'd say go with the Tech 7. But if you're just mainly riding, you're not too worried about that. Tech 10, it's going to have a lot less flex right out of the box, but they will break in, just takes more time. But here's what I do like about the Tech 10. They have what they call their flexion control insert, and this was new when they updated this boot in early 2019. What they actually did is right between these two lower buckles, they added this insert, and it gives flexion control. So just think about it, when you bend at the knees, you're bending forward. That flexion insert is what's gonna help when it comes to impact absorption. So it's adding support to the rider's ankle, but that's also what does make the boot pretty stiff right out of the box. So it's just something you gotta be mindful of, but here's what I do like about that insert. Over time, as these two boots start to really break in, and you've got plenty of hours in these, if you were to go from a Tech 7 and then put the Tech 10 back on, it's gonna feel stiffer. It's always gonna feel stiffer because it has that flexion insert. And to me, this just gives me a little bit more, just call it peace of mind. It just feels like it's gonna offer a little bit more support for my ankle when it comes to impact absorption because of that flexion insert that you have in the front. So what I would ask yourself is, are you an experienced rider? Are you doing big jumps? Are you doing things where you're gonna have big impacts and really slamming on the foot pegs? If that's the case, well then maybe that flexion insert is something that's worth the extra investment to get that added protection that you're not getting with the Tech 7. But overall, again, both super comfortable. Braking period, you just gotta know the Tech 7, quicker, right out of the box. Tech 10, super stiff, gonna take a little bit of time. So the next category that I want to cover is protection, because ultimately no matter what boot you're buying, that's really what you're investing in. And with the Tech 7 and Tech 10 having that price gap, you're going to see that there are some features that you're getting with the Tech 10 that you're not with the Tech 7. So this is really going to help you decide, is it worth spending that extra money to go with the Tech 10, or are you okay with the Tech 7? And what I want you to know right away is, like I said, I spent a lot of time in the Tech 7. Every time I put this on, I feel very safe in these. They have great support. I like that even at the lower price point, you have a pivot system on the medial as well as the lateral side. So what's nice about that, it gives good flexibility, but also it gives good lateral support to the rider's ankle as well. So I like that. If you look at the back here, they utilize what they call their flex blade system. This is actually a piece out of the Tech 10 that they put in here. And what this does, couple things. Just like with that pivot system, it helps with the flexibility, but also it helps with hyperextension, hyperflexion. So that's a safety feature you have in the back here. Both of these, as you can see, have a lot of hard TPU, so good impact protection. But when you jump up to the Tech 10, here's what you're gonna see. We already talked about one of them. You have that flexion control insert right here between the two bottom buckles, which I already said does offer more support, in my opinion, for the rider's ankle. So for those big impacts, I really do like having that added reassurance here at the bottom. But there's some other things worth pointing out. First off, we already talked about the inner booty, but here's really the main purpose of why they put this in the Tech 10. So with the inner booty, not only is this going to help, one, with as far as the ankle float goes, I think that's important to mention, is when you put the inner booty on, you put the Tech 10 on, your foot feels really secure. It sits in there nice and snug. With the Tech 7, if I had one pet peeve, it's that I get a little bit of heel float. In other words, my heel kind of lifts up off the sole. It's not the end of the world. It's just one difference that I have noticed. But also with the inner booty on the Tech 10, you notice that you have these lateral bars here. And the purpose for those is just to offer even more support for the rider's ankle. So you've got these lateral torsion bars here, which are offering good lateral rigidity, but you also have the boot that's going along with that. So you're getting just really good support for the rider's ankle. They've been using the inner booty in the Tech 10 for years. They modified this with the new version. They made it more low profile. They slimmed it down a little bit just to make the whole system better. So I really do like that. So you got the inner booty. And then the other couple features I want to point out is we talked about the 7, you got the flex blade system, but on the Tech 10 you have it on the front as well as the back. So you can see it right here in the front. You've also got it right here in the back. So again, helping with flexibility, but also more importantly, it's going to help again with hyperextension, hyperflexion for the rider's ankle and for the rider's leg. And the other big feature that I like about the Tech 10, you've got a dual pivot system on here just like with the Tech 7, but they have what they call, you can see it right here on the side of the boot, DHCP. And what that stands for is Dynamic Heel Compression Protector. You're not going to be able to see it from the outside, but on the inside of the boot, if you were to be able to strip this down and see just the foot shell, what you will see is that here in the heel area, they have an insert. And that insert is like an EPS that you have inside a helmet, so it compresses and it absorbs impact. So they have that insert in the heel area. So in the event that maybe you're coming up short on a jump, you're going to case, you're going to over jump, you're going to land flat, you're going to land really hard. Or I've seen it in cases where riders just dab their leg really hard and you can bruise your heel pretty easily. They have that compression insert in there just to give a little bit more impact absorption for the rider's heel. And you're not going to have that with the Tech 7. So those are really the biggest safety feature differences that you're going to see. And again, that's that extra money that you're investing in when you go to the Tech 10. But here's what I would say. If you're a rider, maybe just a weekend warrior, and you're a trail rider, you're not doing big jumps, and all that impact absorption isn't something that maybe you're as concerned with, I would say go with the Tech 7 because it's still very supportive. It's still a great boot. I love it. But if you're a rider that's looking for the ultimate amount of protection, you want the best impact absorption as possible, then I would say go with the Tech 10. But those are the big safety features. So next up, though, let's just talk about foot peg feel. So when it comes to soles of both these boots, you're in luck because the soles on both these are replaceable. We do have replacement soles you can pick up on our website. Now, as far as foot peg feel goes, I'm going to give the slight nod to the Tech 7. When you put these on, you can really feel what's going on. Braking and shifting was not an issue whatsoever for me. Now with the Tech 10, it's really close. And I was actually really surprised with that aspect because when I put my new pair on for the first time, I thought there was no way that I was going to be able to have good foot peg feel considering that you have the inner booty. But there's a couple things that Alpinestars did to not really make that be an issue. And the first one is in the sole or the shell of the Tech 10, you have a relief cut up here in the front. And that relief cut is just to give a little bit more flex to the front of the boot. So when you're on the balls of your feet, you can feel the foot peg a little bit more. And also, I do want to point out that with this inner booty, it's important to notice that you've got this hard plastic that comes up about halfway up the boot. So it's going to offer some support for the rider's foot. But once you get past that hard plastic, this is actually really thin. It's almost just like wearing an extra sock. So it's not going to add that much thickness to the toe box area. So the foot peg feel on the Tech 10, to my surprise, is actually still really good. Again, if I had to give the nod, I'll give it to the Tech 7. Now here's one thing that I kind of mentioned earlier that I want to revert back to. When you look at these two boots, and you were to take the same size and put them right next to each other, you will notice that the foot shell on the Tech 10 is going to be a little bit longer. And I already mentioned why. It's because they have to make room for that inner booty. So when I first put the Tech 10 on, because you have that added length in the toe box area in the foot shell, I was having a little bit hard time getting my foot underneath the shift lever at first. It just took a little bit of muscle memory. It is by no means a deal breaker. It's just something that I kind of noticed when I first put the Tech 10 on. But after you're riding these things for just a little bit, you'll get used to it. It's not going to be an issue for you. So as far as the foot peg feel goes, they're pretty neck and neck. I give the slight nod to the Tech 7. So the last categories we're going to cover are buckles, and then we'll talk about durability. So with both of these, as far as the buckles go, they both have a very similar buckle design. The big difference between the two is you get 3 buckles on the Tech 10 versus 4 on the Tech 7. But how they work, it is similar. So it's actually a really good buckle design. They work really well. You take your strap, you slide it right through, it's self-aligning, and then they just snap down. It's that simple. They're very easy to find. They're going to be replaceable on both boots. One thing I have noticed with the Tech 10 or just this style of buckle is that when they do get dirty and gunked up, sometimes it can be a little bit hard to snap these down, but all I had to do is just pour a little bit of water on there, or yeah, I've even used chain lube before, but you might have to do that just to get these to snap down a little bit easier. But in any case, the buckles work well. I've never had one break. I've never had one pop up while I'm riding. So it's just a rock solid buckle design. Now, durability. Let's talk about it, because when you're making any boot investment, you want to know how that's going to work. And luckily, with these two boots, because you got the same base material using that microfiber, and then you've got a lot of hard TPU, the durability on these will ultimately be the same. The compound that they use for the sole is going to be similar, so the durability on the sole is good. But like I already mentioned, you can replace the soles if you do break through those. But I've had my Tech 10s for a little over a year. I haven't had my Tech 7s quite that long, but I put a lot of time on each. Honestly, I've had no bad wear issues on either one. Like I said, the buckles are all intact, and I really don't have anything I can complain about as far as the durability goes. So that's what you can expect, is good durability out of both of these boots. Now, real quick, I forgot to mention it earlier. I just want to point out that when it comes to opening in the calf diameter, you'll notice that the Tech 10 does have a larger opening. So depending on the size of your calf, if you're wearing an ankle or a knee brace, might be one other thing to consider, but you are going to have a larger calf opening on the Tech 10. But other than that, that's all she wrote. That is the Tech 7 versus the Tech 10. If you have questions or comments, if you want some more of my personal feedback, I'm more than happy to give it to you. But if you have one of these, whether it's Tech 7, Tech 10, I want to hear your feedback. What do you think? What is your experience with these? Because that's going to also help other riders out who are looking to pick up their next set. To get yours, it's real simple. Click on the link or head over to RockyMountainATVMC.com. Look at all the cool colorways that Alpinestars has to offer. Remember that orders over $75 ship free. And also some other advice that I can give you. Don't take my word for it. You can read rider reviews. You can also ask questions on the product page. If you do that, you will get answers from those who have bought and are using these exact boots. If you like this Versus, get subscribed to our YouTube channel because we've got a lot more for all the premium boots. So if you're not quite sure, or maybe there's other boots on your radar, well, make sure to watch those product spotlights as well. I am Chase, and we'll see you on the trails.